Welcome, Bantees. Listen. I know if you're watching this where you can see the video, you recognize that one of us looks familiar and the other one that she did not go to Alabama. I am your co-host Sam Fisher, joined here by Amanda Lorenz, the Gator. How are you, Amanda?
Oh, I'm just so great. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. It's what an honor. I mean, listen, I love talking to Halo, but it's nice to switch it up every now and then.
Yeah, they don't know, but I went and cut her cords to her Wi-Fi. I said, get me on the podcast." So there was a little bit of some foul play there, but I was just trying to get my opportunity to get on here, you know?
Listen, we're already starting off this episode with great advice. Like, you know what? If you want something, kids, you go out and you get it. It doesn't matter how, but look we're here now. It worked. We love Halo. Next time it should be like a three co-host thing, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm in.
Anytime we can include her is good. So, Amanda, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a co-host with us today. And we've got a great guest. We had a great conversation, a little bit more on the inside scoop of USA softball, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's important for all of us to know
Yeah.
what gets the wheels turning. How does USA softball keep making this thing go?
Yeah, it truly takes a village. And I know for myself over the years, I continue to learn more and more. I'm just out there. I'm like, where's the dirt? That's where I'll go. And
Yeah,
you just end up there. But it takes a lot to get you out there to the dirt.
absolutely.
Cool. Well, Bantees, enjoy. Amanda did a great job as co-host. So have fun. And we'll see you next time. Okay, Bantees, what a special event we have with us today. You might notice that it is me, your usual guest, Sam Fisher, guest host, but I'm visited by a special co-host. Do you want to introduce yourself for a second here?
Hey guys, I know it's not Halo's beautiful face, but I'm gonna do my best to step in and help Samu out today. So hello everyone, I'm Amanda Lorenz. I am going to do probably a 50% as good of job as Halo, but I'm gonna do my best to chase her batting average. So I'm here and ready to roll.
Listen, we're already shooting high
Awesome.
with really good goals. I want to take a second now to introduce our guest we have. We've got a guest co-host and we've got our guest. We've got a good interview going for you guys this week. So, Tracy, I'm going to tell the people a little bit about you. You are the current commissioner for USA Softball of Alabama. You've been involved in softball and USA Softball almost your entire life as a player, umpire, and tournament director. Played at the JO level and adult level, as well as playing in high school and college. And after your playing career, became an umpire for both USA softball and high school in both slow and fast pitch softball. So Tracy Morgan, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me today. I
We're
am
excited to
delighted to
talk to
be
you.
with you gals.
We're happy to have you. Tracy, tell us a little bit more about your involvement with USA softball and kind of the journey to the position that you're in now.
Um, so as you stated, my whole life started in the 80s. My dad was state UIC for Alabama ASA under Mr. G. Pat Atkinson, longtime commissioner of Alabama. So I grew up, I was a third generation ASA umpire, and then my daughter's a fourth, which is now USA softball, of course. Um, so then when I was in college playing, I just started umpiring. And so the love of the game, whether it was slow pitch, fast pitch, when we made that transition, it has just, stuck with me. Obviously, it wasn't a game that I just wanted to play. I wanted to continue in our sport. And so then when my daughter was about to graduate, I got into another aspect of tournament directing. And then I came on dad. We came back to USA when Miss Natalie Norman became commissioner and tried to help her rebuild the program. We were kind of low at the time. So I came over just as a tournament director. Um, and Nat and I became great friends. She was such a great mentor to me. I became her JO commissioner, and we have just been pedal to the metal ever since about 2015. And then that, of course, stepped aside, and here I am, and we are rolling in Alabama. And Halo would have got a kick out of Roll Tide, baby. So I'm sure she'll listen eventually. But yeah, that's really my involvement. And I still, as a commissioner, I have that JO side of me that I will never be able to let go. So I'm still the area that I live in. I'm the Area 2 rec director. So as state commissioner, I still do a lot of JO stuff. I host tournaments, travel around the whole state. And then about 7 counties over here in the east that we have, a couple hundred rec teams. And we have built our rec program up. And so even last weekend, I was in South Alabama, and we were doing a huge rec tournament down there as a fundraiser. So I'm still involved in all aspects of it, which led me to where I am today. So how about that?
That's awesome. I know Amanda loved the Roll Tide, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah.
you were expecting someone to have a little bit more enthusiasm. So I'm sorry I couldn't get that to you, but I love that you were so happy to say it.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, of course, we all loved it a little more when old Saban was here.
Sure,
But
sure.
on the football side, but Coach Murph, he's always got it going on.
Yeah. All right. Well, you mentioned a little bit about hosting tournaments, and we heard that you hosted a pretty special tournament this past weekend. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, we have been fortunate enough this season we flipped about 16. That's lingo. We had about 16 parts come and join us at USA Softball here in the southwest part of the state, about from Foley, Alabama, all the way over to a little place called Grand Bay in West Mobile, all the way up to a little park called Citronelle. But those rec parks in South Alabama literally take it like travel balls, seriously, and they play every weekend. But there was a little girl who had a disease called DIPG. Now, I'm not as refreshed on that as I should be, because like I said, we're just coming into that area, but I do know it is a rare, like brain cancer. Um, and so this was the 5th annual that we got to come and be a part of for the first time for us, but it was their 5th annual. And we brought the family out, and we had 30 rec teams join us from down there in the lower west corner. And so at the end of the day, we were able, the family also, I should say, the family also created, it's called Aubrey's, AUBREIGH apostrophe S, for anybody that wants to look it up. Aubrey's Army Foundation 328. And the 328, Aubrey's birthday is March 28th, and that's where that comes from. So Aubrey's Army Foundation 328 on Facebook. And her parents started that foundation to help grow awareness in DIPG. And USA Softball, of Alabama, along with the teams that participated, we presented the foundation a check last Saturday at the park for $5,010, which we were so happy and blessed to be able to help give back to that.
The pipeline to the women's national team.
HPP has helped me find a new identity in who I am as a player. It's helped show how hard work pays off, and it's really got me excited for the future of our game, the future for me, the future for my fellow athletes, and for what I strive to do in the future in college, and then potentially with USA Softball in the future.
It's awesome, Tracy. And that actually really leads me into a question I'm super curious about, because obviously the community is so important. And, even just like the little Roll Tide, we love that. About just, sorry, Amanda, it just about, bringing people together and for kind of all being there for a cause or for the same goal. So it sounds like this tournament and other things, you do a lot of things to host fundraisers or tournaments. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and like and just like you mentioned, giving back to the community?
Yes, I feel like that is one thing that sets USA softball across the country apart, and especially in Alabama, of giving back to the communities that participate, and just any way that we can help. So, from fundraisers in that regard, well, I will speak to another one that we help. Maggie's Kindness Foundation. Her parents started that. That is the first weekend of October in Alabama. We had a little, I think 101 teams this past October. And that money, the foundation gives back to Children's of Alabama Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. And so the last 3 years, we were able to help, and we sanctioned that event. And of course, it's tripled since we became a part of it 3 years ago. And the first year, they had never been able to give back that much to Children's Hospital. And that first year they were able to give, plus they have sponsors and stuff through the foundation as well, that the parents and their team gather, before the tournament. But the Maggie's Kindness Foundation donated 20,000 the first year, 25,000 the second year, and over 45,000 this past year in October. And then another way that I like to, for our program to give back, usually the first November of the year, we host a Christmas for Kids tournament. And so USA Softball of Alabama gives back in the way that the teams pay no entry fee, they pay no gate fee, they enter, whether they're in a stroller or whatever, they have to enter the park with a new unwrapped toy. And so we were able to give to two foundations, the city of Gadsden this past year, and then Cherokee County. They have an adult and children's foundation that, for you know, for less fortunate during that time of the year, or just even parents that are having a hard time, that can't make ends meet in the world that we live in today. So those are a couple of the things that we do as far as charity or foundation, or just trying to give back to our communities.
That's awesome.
So awesome.
Thank
So
you.
obviously you're hosting so many great tournaments out there in Alabama, which you've spoken to, and we love to see a fellow former softball player staying in the sport and creating more opportunities for younger softball players coming up, because that's where the dream starts. So without people like you, the dream can't start and you can't stay in sports. So obviously so important what you're doing in Alabama. But what advice would you give to other tournament directors that are trying to make a difference and just have really great tournaments to create those amazing memories for those kids?
I think I'm going to speak from my heart here. And I think the first thing that we can't lose sight of is why we do it. And it has to be about the young athletes first, and not use this as a way to make a living. But that really has to be our goal and our passion, right? And if we don't have a passion for what we're doing, that is just what I think should drive us, the passion for the athletes. And we have to foster and give them a safe environment. That has to be important as well. And have fun with it. I mean, that's what, sometimes I feel like when I look around at our other states and the tournaments that they put on and stuff. But I mean, yeah, we have serious stuff as far as showcases and things like that. A lot of them use it, for money, and it has to be about the kids, and you have to do fun things like, and I know there's another state that does this. We're doing a Barbie Blitz, and it's a pink out in April.
Yes,
And that thing
I'm
has been
there.
full for a couple of months. But yeah, just have fun with it, and just don't lose sight of. We don't just cater to showcase top teams. They're all caliber and level of teams across the country, and we have to be able to adapt to our audience and what they need, whether it's 8 and under, 10 and under, 12 and under, C class, rec ball, all the way up to the A class in our gold teams. And we have to be able to, so don't lose sight of that. We have to be able to go and draw them in and show them why USA softball is the best, and what we have to give them.
At Higginbotham, we put people first. Our specialists are here to serve you, the people you care about, and your success. Insurance, HR, and financial services. Inspired by you.
That's great. That's awesome, Tracy, especially because, as players, Amanda and I have talked a lot in Halo. Everybody who's played talk about growing the game and wanting the game to get bigger. And it's not just the players, it's everybody that's involved. It's the coaches, it's the tournament directors, it's everybody who's running softball as their livelihood. And so hearing that coming from you and your advice to others is like, that's the way that softball is going to get to where we all know that it can get. So I would love to know, with all of your experience, all the things that you've done, do you have like a favorite tournament that you've hosted or event, or even just like a favorite story from one of those events, something that is just really memorable for you in all of your experience?
I think my favorite, I'll give you a favorite. On a Saturday in, I want to say 2020, we had a couple of 11-year-old little girls, twins. I had never met them. Their mother came up and talked to me, their coach. And so we were at a Saturday tournament. And Tuesdays is usually when that's our deadline to enter for, the following week on a Saturday only tournament. And just a little invitational. And they came up and talked to me, and they're twins. And one of the little girls, they had went for their well checkup. And one of them, this is how fast something can happen. How quickly that USA Softball of Alabama, or just us as people, can impact someone else's life through our sport. But they were just telling me, they didn't ask for anything, but they were just telling, they had went for the well checkup, and one of the little sisters didn't get a very good, and they had been healthy as a horse, both of them. And quickly it turned. And in 3 days, we pulled together enough, because that was just the only time that we had to do it. The parent, I didn't ask her, but we talked to the coach and some of the people that they knew, and they did have a need. And in 3 days, we pulled together and pulled off a tournament the following Saturday, and we presented that family with over $7,000. And
Wow.
the whole community came. I mean, teams came from Auburn, which, a couple hours away, and people just, people rallied together through our sport to help a family in need. And I think that has been one of my most memorable moments since. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty others, but that one really stands out to me. I have a bunch of them, but that one really stands out to me. So I also, one more thing on 9/11 tournament, anyone that you could think that would have played a part in 9/11, first responders, veterans, nurses, doctors, firemen. So we do a tournament like that, and we teach our little ones, it's usually 8 and under through 12 and under, about the respect and, things that they may not learn other places. But the athlete, gets to escort her hero to the pitching river while their bio is being read. And we meet them there with a token of our appreciation, a USA softball lapel pin, and just things like that. And then we take the money and give it back to certain foundations. And, this year we took the money and donated it back to Tunnel to Towers. If anybody's ever heard of that, it's T2T.org. That was erected after 9/11 when a fireman lost his life when he went back in, and then the towers collapsed. But stuff like that gets me, that that motivates me to be able to help others, not just our athletes, but through our athletes and our program, we can help others.
That's awesome.
So good.
That's
So
amazing.
awesome. Not only creating like a place for these kids to play, but also creating an opportunity for huge life lessons, which I think
Absolutely.
I think so many times we talk about sport and how awesome it is to learn how to compete well and have the opportunity to compete, but to also learn these incredible life lessons along the way and do that through sport is really
Mm,
special. And to impact these kids at such a young age while also teaching these lessons is just so amazing. So we're just so thankful that you are part of USA Softball doing that work, just not only, like we said, creating these
yeah.
opportunities where the dreams start and where we can hopefully they're going to play softball forever and play at the pro level, but above all, they're learning how to be good people and like you said, the respect piece and helping others who need it just through sport. And yeah, it's just it gets me. And I love
Thank
it.
you. I
Makes
would like
me
to say though, none of this would go off without the staff that we have here in Alabama. And obviously we all say that in every state, but I think we have the best here. So I wouldn't, I would be remiss if I didn't mention them. And there's so many moving parts to what we do. And mostly everybody will maybe don't know some of the people behind the scenes, but Johnny Franklin and Leah Carden and Bubba Pearsall and Matt Cornegay and Bailey Morris and Dwayne Pullen and Ken Mims and Kim Guy, and we just have a lot of staff. So anyway, thank y'all for letting me take just a second to mention them because none
Yeah.
of this would
No.
happen without them.
Perfectly said. And USA Softball is made up of 10 regions, and each state has their own USA Softball Association. So a lot of people don't know just about how the USA Softball grassroots program works. But can you just tell us a little bit about how the associations contribute to USA Softball?
Besides sending you players, we host camps. Um, Everything we do from the rec program, the teams that register, or some of them here may know it as sanction. All the teams that we sanction register, um, the camps, the events from 1-day tournaments to exposure type tournaments, any of the money, that from those, all of those avenues that are sent to USA Softball, that helps to fund our program at the national level. Is that kind of what you are referring to? And, there's so many ways, even all the work that people don't know across the country at the USA Softball National Office, all the things that they do. And that, it allowed us to be able to maybe if we wanted to provide a meal to the national office and things like that. There's a ton of work that goes on, not only the work at a local association level, but the work at the national office. And then, and so all the money, that we have to make, obviously some stays at the state level, but there's quite a bit that goes to the national level in order to help fund the national teams. So, and obviously I don't think we can do enough, because we have to send y'all places, and they have to win.
True. That's
Yeah.
true. No, I think it's a good point Amanda brought up where it's, some people don't really know how it goes on. Some people might, like, I know when I first played for Team USA, I thought, okay, this is USA Softball, without realizing what it means to be beyond a whole entire organization. But that's awesome to get
Hmm.
some insight from you on, you're out there on the ground doing the work. So, as we kind of wrap up, everybody who listens to the podcast knows that Halo always likes to ask a wrap up question. But since my partner in crime is absent and we have another great, co-host with us today, I will take the lead on this question. This one's for you, Halo. But if you had any advice to give to your younger self, what would it be? And why?
I would have said listen more and talk less. I still need to learn that. I would have definitely listened more. I think about when you asked me that, I immediately reflected back to my young athlete self, obviously. I would, I was hothead, maybe a little bit. Um, as far as if it, I mean, we've all been there. I would get down on myself. Maybe I shouldn't say hothead. I would get down on myself a lot. If I made a mistake or threw the ball away or, any of those things. But, so my advice now to myself would have been, it will come, and just keep working harder and you will get better and better. And even if you don't, it's okay. Tracy, you may not succeed or excel in a way that, your second baseman over here is, but you have talents and gifts in other areas. I may be the one that fires the team up or rallies the team up when we're down, or you have the talents and the gifts that God give us, and you have to search for those, little Tracy. What is yours?
Oh,
Cute.
that was awesome. That was
Are
great
you
advice. And
serious?
yeah, that was awesome. That was great.
Well,
We really, we really appreciate you sharing and taking the time with us to answer our questions and to let people know a little bit more about what you do and what different regions do for USA softball. And Amanda, you kicked butt at the co-hosting gig, man.
Thank you
you
so
sure
much.
did.
Big shoes to fill. So I'm thankful
You
that I
were
was given the place.
Thank you, Tracy.
fabulous. Thank you,
You were
Sam.
fabulous. Thank you, Tracy.
Yes,
Thank
thanks for coming
y'all.
on and sharing it all with us. And I can't wait to, all the people that you shouted out that help you out in Alabama. I can't wait for them to listen to their shout out.
Yeah.
And I just let all the Banties know that, I'm just a plain talker from Alabama down here, and I don't know how to be colorful, but I hope you all enjoyed listening down here in Hicktown.
That, you know what? You wrapped it up better than I could. So thank you, Banties, for listening. And until next time.
At this time, we would like to thank the USA Softball Store at usasoftballstore.com for our amazing gear this week. You guys can have the exact same gear that Samu and I have literally right now if you go to usasoftballstore.com. So go literally right now, and you can use code BHB15 right now and get 15% off your entire purchase. So buy a lot of stuff, get that 15%, let it all go to use. usasoftballstore.com. Again, that code is BHB15.